Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is another edition of Single Malt Sunday. So thanks for stopping by on a potentially lazy Sunday afternoon. And believe it or not, it is Sunday today, the day that I'm actually drinking this. I know, surprise. But this one I'm sort of excited about and I'm sort of dubious about. I did not really research this one. This was not like on my list of whiskeys I wanted to get and try, but it just caught my eye and I was like, oh, this sounds like something I would like. So this is Grangerstone. It is a Scotch single malt whiskey from the Highland region. Now, if you do a little bit of research on this sucker, you will find that there is not a distillery called Grangestone in Scotland. And the reason is because it's an unknown distillery. How does that work? So what's happened is there's a company called William Grant & Sons out of the United Kingdom. And most likely what they do is they contact a Scottish distillery. And they're never going to tell us which one. And they buy barrels from them. Now they can call it single malt because there's rules on this, but I think if the barrel is unadulterated and unchanged and they buy the full barrel and that sort of thing, it can be called Scotch because it was actually produced in Scotland. And then they just basically they buy the barrel from a distillery in Scotland, and then they age it probably themselves. If they don't, they may just be a blender where they get a bunch of barrels and they blend them to what they want, and then finish it in a barrel. So this one is aged in American oak for 14 years. Now, that's pretty good. 14 years is a good long time. And then after that, they continue to age it. Well, this cork's a little loosey-goosey on me here. Then they continue to age it for an unspecified amount of time. In this case, in a Pedro Ximénez sherry cask. So, let's see if I can move this over to get it out of my face a little bit here. So it's only 40% ABV. That's the first downer. So even though it doesn't say it, we can go and say what? That it's probably chill filtered. I can almost guarantee it's chill filtered. And you can almost guarantee there's caramel coloring in here. Now it was finished in Pedro Ximénez, which could give it the color. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I would reckon, considering that they don't make the whiskey themselves, that they probably put caramel coloring in it. Now, here's the deal. There's not much of a nose on this at all. Wow. I'm really not getting anything. So I don't even think I'm going to... we'll see what happens, but I probably won't try it with any water because this is... And there's some fruit, I would say, like plums. Very, very weak. It's not really strong. You know, get some vanilla, mostly plums, fruit. Sweet. Kind of like vanilla pudding or vanilla custard. For sure I can get that. It's almost got, very vanilla. I don't get, it's interesting, for 14 years in an oak barrel, I don't get a lot of cinnamon. I don't get a lot of brown sugar. I just get like vanilla pudding and plums on the nose. So, here's what I'm going to say about this. This particular whiskey. I will say that it's thin. I won't say it's thin. It doesn't taste thin. It tastes one-dimensional. Maybe a little thin. One-dimensional. There's not a lot going on. However, and you know, and a lot of that has to do with the ABV, right? I'm sure that they've you know, brought this down to 40% so they can sell as much of it as possible. It's very like approachable. Like at 40%, you're not gonna, you know, it's not gonna turn a lot of people away. I do like the taste and the flavor. There's yeah, the finish is like vanilla pudding, or yeah. I would say that this would be a great daily drinker. Now it's probably too expensive for that. It's not super expensive for what it is, but I would say it's a daily drinker, meaning it's gentle. It's not something that you got to sit down and really like dig deep into. It is what it is, you know. It's just it's enjoyable. It tastes good. It just doesn't have a lot of complexity. So it's something I would drink for, like, you know, if I don't want to use one of my expensive whiskeys for a particular night, but I want to have a little whiskey, I would have this. So at any rate, hopefully that makes sense and maybe lets you know what I think of it. I'll be back in another week for another whiskey. No, I won't be back in another week. Probably in a month. I'll probably be back in about a month for another whiskey tasting, depending on how it goes. And until then, sláinte.